You might suggest that this is one of the most difficult jobs currently available to work in the media. The sort of thing, the entrepreneurial ship that we're seeing so much of, people making millions through lifestyle adventures, the sort of thing that Gwyneth Paltrow and Martha Stewart have been doing for years. Some might suggest over here in the UK, Delia Smith was a forerunner of that, simply because she wrote brilliant cookbooks that taught the world and us British how to make the very best of simple dishes using her expertise. But could the same really be said of somebody like Meghan Markle? See, according to a very well-placed source, and as ever, it's interesting to point this out, that this particular gentleman, who's now, shall we say, left, moved away, got fired, whatever you want to call it, but after 3 months is now no longer in their employ. Well, one of the tasks that apparently he found very difficult to do, and as ever we have to say allegedly, was to recruit this for Meghan. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you. We're in the very heart of London today. Can you see that? The beautiful Whitehall area. Don't worry, I have somebody with me. I know what you're thinking, Neil, be careful. I am very careful. I pick my moments, but waiting for a bus, there's no glitzy cars for me, no armour plated things. No, you just have to rough it with the rest of us, don't you? You meet some interesting people on the bus, don't you? Oh yes, don't you? But it's interesting, as I say, going in and around London, because you do get to see, I would recommend that on the top of a London bus, just to look out and see the sights. Particularly, I would say, the number 9's a very good route for seeing all the big things. For free, you don't need to get on one of those tour buses, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, of course, will have a lot of sympathy for this particular gentleman. Josh Settler, of course, is now without a job. I wouldn't worry too much, though. He's going to be a man in demand, particularly from the tabloid associations, who will want to see exactly what he had to say. They're willing to open their checkbooks at any level, as one can imagine. But of course, he will have some kind of NDA, but as I've told you before here on the show, that truly means nothing, NDAs don't have the backup anymore, and people are not frightened of them, because if you were left, mooted, fired, sacked, whatever you want to call it, in a negative way, you surely can make more money the other way. And that's the generational thing that now really happens. Sure, you'll all agree. But moving forward, according to a well-placed source, this particular problem was one that apparently he was left to task. And this was to try and find a CEO for American Riviera Orchard. And when you think about it, it must have proven very difficult to do. But apparently, according to a source, here was one of the problems. You see, Meghan herself apparently wanted the very best, the echelons of people. And as you can imagine, she really needed the most powerful people that had made like Goop a success for Gwyneth Paltrow. Not only that, she wanted to cook alongside some of the very best chefs, the Michelin star people that perhaps are in the very best hotels around the world. The George Sank, the Dorchester, all of that sort of stuff. But chefs really can earn anything they want, particularly mega celebrity chefs. That fell through, and that was met, shall we say, with a stony silence. But then she was still very keen to find someone to develop American Riviera. They couldn't find anybody because there was simply no remit for the job. The job itself was very sketchy. What was the role and what was required of that person in that particular role? And there were so many forms and declarations to sign before you even got an interview that many people simply didn't want to put themselves forward. On top of that, apparently, and as ever allegedly, the salary wasn't exactly great. So the bottom line was this particular individual, along with the others who are currently still working out there, found it very difficult to suggest people that were willing to come forward. And that was part and parcel of the deal. You should know these people. Can you not get them to come in for a meeting? But apparently people were very, very reluctant. And sadly, American Riviera, as we now know, which was launched in March to great fanfare, and we know when, don't we? Well, apparently things are now not going to be looking steaming ahead until at least 2025. That's all because, of course, the Duchess, as she now likes to be called inside those inner circles, she's just too busy with many other ventures. Like what? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.